Every time the man kisses his wife, he immediately turns away and disgustedly wipes his mouth. His hatred for his wife is so severe that he has to take antihistamines to alleviate it. However, he doesn't dare to ask his wife for a divorce, because the house and car are both registered in his wife's name. After any contact with his wife, he always rushes to his mistress's house for comfort. Watching the man's unbearable agony, one day the mistress handed him a bag of white powder. She said this powder was colorless and tasteless. Once ingested, it would paralyze the heart and naturally cause death after 10 hours. Even forensic experts couldn't detect this toxin. In order to seize his wife's assets for himself, the man went to the supermarket and bought a bottle of red wine. Then he injected the toxin into the wine. After doing all this, he quickly threw the syringe into the trash. He originally thought the whole plan would go off without a hitch, but when he came home that night, he discovered that his wife, who was supposed to be home, had mysteriously disappeared, and there was a pool of bright red blood on the floor. In that instant, he sensed that something was terribly wrong. His wife was very likely in danger, so he shouted his wife's name at the top of his lungs, but he searched every corner of the house and couldn't find a trace of her. Even her phone showed that it was temporarily unreachable. Just as the man was puzzled and confused, he discovered in horror a card on the table. On it, it demanded that the man prepare $200 million in ransom, and if he dared to call the police, they would kill her outright. Realizing that his wife had been tragically kidnapped, the man decisively chose to report it to the police. After an investigation and evidence gathering, the police left. But once the police left, the man was overjoyed. He had originally planned to kill his wife that night. He never expected that he wouldn't have to do it himself. To celebrate, he drank on the sofa. He believed that as long as he didn't pay the ransom, after his wife was killed, her inheritance would surely belong to him. However, early the next morning, he received an anonymous email. At the same time, officers arrived at his house. However, what no one expected was that the envelope contained a bloody fingernail clipping. Remembering that his wife had recently gotten a manicure, he instantly realized that his wife had been murdered. In that moment, he was filled with joy, but to avoid suspicion, he still put on a pitiful act in front of reporters, claiming that he would do whatever it took to save his wife. Unexpectedly, a neighbor suddenly stepped forward, revealing that the man was having an affair. Thus, an ordinary kidnapping and extortion case became a case of premeditated murder. This instantly left the man at a loss. At that moment, he noticed the bottle of poisoned wine from the night before. He hurriedly poured the wine down the toilet, then quickly slipped out the back door. Unbeknownst to him, there was still a bit of residue left in the bottle. Sure enough, that very night he was summoned to the police station for questioning. Just then, a delivery man suddenly arrived with a CD. It contained footage of his wife being kidnapped. At the end of the video, the kidnappers demanded that the man prepare $200 million in 8 hours, and deliver it to the specified location as instructed. If he dared to call the police, they would kill his wife. Little did he know, it had all been a scheme devised by his wife.